done a lot of running in my life. Running to stay healthy, running to fight for my country, running to defend democracy. Oh, and by the way, that guy you're looking at, that's not me. That's our current U.S. Senator Josh Hawley. This guy. Or maybe you'd better recognize him running for his life a few hours later. I swear, this coward's always running from something. And now, this is the guy who's writing a book telling every single one of us how to be a man. Now this is me, Lucas Kunce, running for Senate. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, but I did have the support of my community, which made me who I am today. When things get tough, Missourians deserve a U.S. Senator who will stand up for them, not run away. That's why I'm running to replace Josh Hawley.
That is the new political ad from Lucas Kunce, the first Democratic challenger to emerge to take on Republican Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri in 2024. And Lucas joins us now.
Lucas, thanks so much for being with us. It's an interesting timing. You're running against a guy who is very proud of what he did on January the 6th, very proud that he stirred up the fascist crowds. I'm curious your thoughts about this virus that spread from the United States to Brazil, where we saw fascist violence and an insurrection, an attempted insurrection there. Does that go back to Josh Hawley?
Of course it does. I mean, here's the thing, like Missouri, we're talking about a race where this is the front line for democracy. We have to hold that guy accountable, or that virus, as you put it, is going to continue to spread. And about being proud of that event, I can't imagine being proud of skittering out for the exit that quickly after inciting a riot. Like, it's embarrassing. The guy's a fraud and a coward. You know, I was a Marine in Iraq and Afghanistan. I led missions outside the wire in Iraq. And if any of us had run from the face of danger like that, we would have been court-martialed, right? We'd have straight up been court-martialed. The guy's a fraud and a coward, and I'm telling you, by the time we're done with this campaign, everyone in the world is going to know it.
Well, I'm just curious. I mean, how does this go over well in Missouri? That you've got a guy that pushed for an insurrection, he fled, he ran, tried to cover his own neck, then he lied about everything about it, was contemptuous of attempts to get to the bottom of it. And I must say, it really does seem to be the height of irony that this guy is writing a book on manhood. It didn't appear to be much of an example of that on January the 6th.
No, it's wild, right? I mean, and this is the thing about Missourians. Missourians are tired of politicians who will do anything for their own power, right? That's what Josh Hawley did on January 6th. He's raising his fist when he thinks it's going to get him power, and then he's skittering for the exit the second that things get real. And they're also tired of politicians who betray them and try to control their lives all the time. I mean, Josh Hawley is trying to control our lives. He's trying to control our lives in the bedroom. He's trying to control us in the doctor's office. He's trying to control us at work. And I mean, you just mentioned his book. I mean, he's trying to control what we actually are. I mean, it's weird, it's creepy, and it's gross to write a book about masculinity and tell everyone that to be a real man, they have to be made in your own image. Missourians don't want to creep deciding what happens in their lives, and that's why he's vulnerable.
So, Lucas, tell us what inspired you to run, unless it is Josh Hawley.
No, what inspired me to run is this old neighborhood that I grew up in here in Jeff City, right? My family had no money. We were a working class family. We went bankrupt from medical bills. You can actually read about more on lucaskunce.com. I don't want to go too deep right now, but like, we had a hard time, and the people of this state came around us. They took care of us. They brought more lasagna by the house than we could ever eat. They passed the plate at my mom's prayer group, and they really took care of us. I've dedicated my life to serving that community that took care of me. I mean, even when I got into Yale, didn't have money to go, like they made up scholarships for me. It was a beautiful thing, and I've spent a life serving them, and they deserve someone. The people of this state deserve someone who actually cares for them, who will stand up for them, not run for the exit the first time things get real.
So, Lucas, this is what I don't understand. And we've heard many Democrats talking about this for some time, but it's become so obvious in the age of Trump that you have these people claiming to be populists who spend their entire career protecting Wall Street bankers, making sure that billionaires don't have to pay the same rate of taxes that secretaries, clerical workers, and janitors have to pay, and that have overseen a transfer of wealth from middle-class America to the top 0.01% over the past generation. And Josh Hawley, like Donald Trump, they're right at the center of that. They claim to be populists. All they're doing is helping out billionaires and multinational corporations to keep as much money from not paying taxes as possible. How do you get that message across to the people of Missouri?
That's absolutely right. No, that's why I keep saying that Missouri is the front line in the fight for democracy. You are absolutely right. These phonies and these frauds, they're being able to get away from that stuff. And that's why Josh Hawley is such the perfect person to run against, because this is the show me state. People here demand that you show them what you are. And he's never had to run after showing people exactly what he is, right? A faker and a coward and someone who only cares about his own power. And so we have a real opportunity here to expose him and to expose that entire movement. In Missouri, you know, we had statewide Democrats, many of them, a majority, all the way up through 2016. We've been losing to these fake populists, and Josh Hawley gives us, the entire country, and when you mention Bolsonaro, the entire world, like the opportunity to show what fakers they are, to take him down and to kill that movement. It's absolutely critical that we win here.
Lucas, good morning. Jonathan Lemire. There are some uphill challenges, though, for a Democrat running right now in the state of Missouri. Last year, the Republican was elected to the Senate with a margin of 12 odd points. President Biden lost Missouri in 2020 by 15. It's a state that has trended more and more red in recent cycles. How are you going to navigate that? And in particular, how will you choose what to embrace and push away from the Biden agenda?
Yeah, and so you mentioned Missouri. Like, I wouldn't say it's as ruby red. I would say it's a very populist state. And so that's how people like Josh Hawley have been able to take over. And that's why it's our opportunity to really push back against that fake movement. And so what you've seen actually over the last several years that doesn't get mentioned a lot is Missourians have been trying to claw back power from people like them. You know, most people wouldn't know this and are surprised by it, but we passed a minimum wage on a statewide ballot initiative that's $5 over the federal level, which is pretty impressive. We expanded Medicaid over people like Josh Hawley. We passed first medical marijuana legalization and then recreational marijuana legalization. And so what people are doing here is they're trying to claw back power from these folks, but they need someone who they feel represents them and has a lifetime of service to kind of win over as a candidate. And so, you know, you kind of mentioned Donald Trump's margins in 2020. Well, in 2016, Jason Kander, a veteran like me who ran sort of similarly, when Donald Trump won by 17 points, he only lost by 3 points. We can make up those margins as long as we have the right person.
All right, Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate in Missouri, Lucas Kunce, thank you very much for being on the show this morning. We appreciate it.